Sang to Me by Mark Anthony. Who doesn't love Mark Anthony? I love every song of his. My name is Dua Akumia. You can also call me the Golden Girl. And it's time for Let's Talk Relationship. Yep. I'm excited about this one. Get ready to get interactive with us on all our social media platforms. And don't forget that you have to hit the share button when you get on Facebook, okay? We beg you, hit the share button. Let everybody know that we are currently live on your screens. Now, today we are going to do something slightly different from how we usually do when it comes to Let's Talk Relationship. Usually, we have a topic and our guests talk on the topic. They give their submissions in relation to it, and then you also send in your thoughts about the topic. But today we have a story. We have a real-life story. A lady who she's going through something in her marriage, and when she sent it to us, when she sent it to me, we felt like, no, it's perfect for us to bring it public and talk about it so we can get her the appropriate help. And also the possibility of somebody out there going through a similar situation. And so what am I talking about? Can we have the story? So I read it to our viewers. Our guests are beautifully seated this morning. So, in fact, you know what? Let me just introduce my guests first, then we get into the story that we have for you this morning. Always and always, I do ladies first. Reverend Juliet Boche. She is the convener of Friends of Jesus Ministry. Hi, Rev.
Thank you, Asiedo.
Good morning.
I like you in white.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hope everything is okay. Everything's fine.
We're doing excellent. Grace is keeping us.
We thank God. And seated to her right is Prophet Moses Benisan from a Family Altar Ministry. Hi, Prof.
Hi.
Good to see you again.
See you. Yeah.
Hope you're well.
I'm doing extremely well.
Thank God.
Yeah.
We thank God. Thank God. All right. And so our story is ready. But before that, the marketing manager of Franco Trading Enterprise is celebrating his birthday today. And so we have to celebrate him, don't we? We all know that Franco Trading Enterprise is the main sponsor for a news flash right here on Prime Morning. And so the marketing manager is celebrating his birthday. So we ought to celebrate you. Happy birthday to you, Jacob. We right here on Prime Morning. We love you very much. And thank you for everything. Thank you for Franco Trading Enterprise coming on board with us. Enjoy your day and have a blessed year ahead as well. All right, now it's time for our story. What do we have? Okay. Dear Isiodua, please keep me anonymous. I've been married to my husband for almost 2 years. Recently, he brought home a child claiming it's his from an affair he's been having. The guts. This has come as a huge shock because, as far as I'm concerned, our marriage has been great. There were no signs of cheating. He's always been a wonderful husband, caring and attentive. What scares me the most is that he was able to keep up this perfect image while leading a secret life. If he can pretend so well, what does that mean for our future? We dated for a year before getting married, and he literally begged me to be his wife. Ooh. I'm completely blindsided by this revelation. We haven't even really discussed having children yet. We were just enjoying our time together. He's never expressed a desire for a child right now, so I'm struggling to understand how this could have happened. Now I'm at a crossroads. Should I forgive him and stay, or should I leave this marriage? What should I do? Ooh. What should I do? So that's our story for this morning. And we are going to delve into the story. First off, I want us to look at what could have possibly been the background of everything. Because I was saying to myself that after I chanced on this, I was saying to myself that there are a lot of times, especially newly wedded married couples of late, some would get married. Before they get married, they will say, oh, we are going to wait for a little while before we start having children because we want to maybe save, we want to work a little bit more or something. Others to, right after getting married, they start wanting to, you know, have children and everything. But with this particular story, they were happy. They were good. And she said that we dated for a year before getting married, and he literally begged me to be his wife. So I'm looking for the part where she said about the children. Okay, so I'm completely blindsided by this revelation. We haven't even really discussed having children yet. But this man was able to have an affair outside and have a child with a side chick. Now, before marriage, dating for a year, do you think that there's a possibility that there were certain signs that maybe this young lady decided not to pay attention to? Reverend Juliet.
What a question. Okay, so right from the story,
Yeah.
and relating to the question you are asking, we have to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture in the sense that this is a couple that have been married for just 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's a fresh marriage.
Yeah.
They've not married for too long. And I'm looking at the fact that the man has brought in a child. In this case, it's the man.
Yeah.
We hardly see women bringing them like
That's
that.
true.
Most
You
times,
can't.
it's
Even
the,
if it happen, you dare not.
in fact, they'll leave you
They'll leave
immediately.
you.
Don't bring it up as a case. Anyway, so here we are, and she's saying that after 2 years, this man has come in with a child. I wish she was right before us.
Yes. Yeah.
My first question to her is how old is the child? I want to know how old is the child to be able to put this thing in perspective.
So when she got in touch with us, the child is just just a few months old.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that means this is something that has happened within
the marriage.
2 years.
Yes.
Okay, so then we can narrow our answers to a certain point. Now, that means that's a sheer situation of unfaithfulness
Right.
in the marriage. There are things that build marriage. And because relationships, as I've always been saying, is built on wisdom, not just love. Love draws you together. Even we and God relationship, yes, I don't know. And so you do baby, I don't know what.
That's true.
You see, you get weary as a Christian.
That's true.
There is the wisdom and the commitment and the devotion. These other virtues is what sustain our relationship with God. And so in marriage, it's the same. At a point, the love, many things come in, and the love as the chemistry, let me use that word, Mom, the chemistry of the way what drew us together, the excitement, all those stuff. I love you, you love me. You know that kind of thing. But because relationship is developed,
right,
we use virtues to develop relationship. But here you are, already 2 years on faithfulness.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the cracks that is forming at the foundation. So my first question is, did they go to counseling? I mean, proper counseling, the stages of counseling, to a proper counselor, to take them through the stages to be able to discover these characters and attitudes and certain things, and to be able to discuss certain things. Okay, if this shows up, how are you going to handle this? How are you going to... All these things must be discussed. Because from her statement, she's making us to understand that even childbearing has not been discussed.
Yes.
So if it has not been discussed, that means you missed it even at the counseling.
At the counseling, okay. Right.
And here you are. The person is not talking about children, and he's already having one. You see, so it brings to mind that there were certain unanswered questions right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And on faith, this is not about trap. Because once you make a commitment to a person that I'm going to work with you, I'm going to build a home with you, I'm going to do this, it's like going to school. When you go to school, there are rules and regulations. Why don't you go and do your own thing there?
Yeah.
So if you can obey school rules, What stops you from obeying marriage rules? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, Edward.
I get it.
Because
I
your
get it.
certificate, you don't want to lose your certificate.
That's true.
Do you want to lose your marriage? So me, that's my own opinion. If she was here, I would think for me, there were signs from the beginning, and there have been lapses, like they didn't follow thorough counseling to be able to discover some of these things. And for the man, it's pure unfaithfulness. And now we have to deal with the problem that is at hand. And I'm sure Osofo will help us.
and that leads me to Prophet Moses. First, give us your overview of the story. And then we'll delve into the question I have for you next.
Okay, so, I mean, it's a very beautiful story, and I want to believe that she's not the only person experiencing such things in marriage and relationship. There are diverse kinds of people who are going through similar things. So we have to address it in a way that can also help others to be able to solve their problems. Marriage is between two people, and marriage is instituted by God, not man. So God has his own manual as to how marriage should work. When the foundation is not right, there will be problems, okay? It's unfortunate that we want to make marriage look like it has evolved. This is 21st century marriage. So you meet someone today, you want to get married the next day or whatever. For dating for 1 year, what was the dating about? We date before we court. But the reason for dating is to identify red flags. The things that are in the person that I believe I can live with, and the things that are in the person that I believe I may not really like. But
Okay, Prof. So what would be your ideal number of time to date and then courts?
My ideal number of time, 1 year is perfect. 1 year is okay. Yes, to date, 1 year.
1 year.
1 year, okay? Some churches do 3 years, some do 2 years.
Okay.
Some actually do 6 months. So they take you through the counseling. But my ideal dating, 1 year, is perfect. But that 1 year, you are dating to see if this person is compatible with you. So you must be very observant. Every human being has personality traits, and every personality trait has its own strength and weaknesses. So we talk about phlegmatic, sanguine, choleric, and etc. Each of them have their strength and weaknesses. So every human being has strength and weaknesses. When we are dating, I want to see if I can accommodate your weaknesses, as much as I want to know the strength that you're bringing into my life to make my life better. After you have dated, seen the weaknesses, the strength, evaluated all this, prayed, sought the mind of God, sought for confirmation through mentors and guides and parents. When you decide, I want to settle with you, by then you have already assessed the situation. You've known the person. If the person is a liar, you should be able to tell. If the person is a deceit, you should be able to tell. If the person is a cheat, you should be able to tell. There are things you have to look for. But when we get emotionally involved, then we are blinded to all the red flags. Once you are blinded to the red flags, though they are there, you don't see them. Even if you see them, you believe he will change. People don't change when they marry.
They're still the same.
They're still the same. If he's a liar, he becomes a bigger liar in marriage. So don't be blinded by your emotional attachment.
I wonder how you can be in a relationship. You can date somebody and not be emotionally attached. I wonder how one can do that, because especially on the side of a woman, women easily, like it's so easy for a woman to be highly emotionally attached to a man.
Yes, so when we talk about emotional attachment, It's avoid having sex.
Sex, right.
Yes. Avoid going to do Salome, sleepovers.
It's
Means you are
called
investing. That
Salome.
means you are
Yes.
investing.
You are investing.
You are investing.
Yeah. So no sex. Avoid sleepovers.
Yes.
Right.
There's not a time for you to go and be washing every time. Aha.
Washing his clothes.
Yes.
Cooking for
Cooking for
him.
him.
Cleaning
What
his
about the man?
apartment.
What about the man paying school fees and all those
And the
things?
man also pays school fees.
So the investment.
Renting. I mean, because until you marry, you don't have any financial responsibility. You can give gifts. You can give gifts. You can
And
give
it's
gifts.
true.
But
It's true.
don't be financial. You're not the one to pay school fees.
School fees.
No, all those
Yes.
things. Yeah.
It's true though.
It
it's
blinds
very
you.
true.
It blinds you to the
It
red
blinds
flags,
you.
and it blinds you. It's like you are already committed. So what may, you have to make it work.
Yeah.
And maybe you see something you want to opt out, and make your school fees. I think I better opt out, and you'll be triaka. And it has happened. People are dying.
But you know, let's go back to the gifting and the
no.
the distant part a little bit. There are some men who love to do that for their women. So they will opt to pay your school fees. They would opt to take good care of you. You can't tell me that if that option comes, I will not accept it. Of course.
As usual. You see,
Reverend Juliet.
we want what works.
Okay.
And we're just coming up with this, not to derail from the real topic at hand concerning the ladies'
issue
on unfaithfulness. So just to wrap up a little bit on that, it's not good to invest so much in
you
a
are just
relationship
dating.
that when you are dating, courting, and then at the end of the day, when you have to make some practical decisions, it becomes very difficult. That is what we are saying. So you have to be very realistic. You know, apart from all the emotional things, we must be very practical too. And people help you to do that, the counselors, the mentors, etc. But back to the ladies' issue on this unfaithfulness in the marriage. Marriage is built on certain pillars. Some of the pillars, it has to do with security. You must have a sense of security, especially for the woman, in the relationship. Assurance and security. Then another issue that is very vital to relationship building is trust. Trust is a key issue. In fact, every relationship in this world is built on trust.
Business-wise,
everything. In fact, I see it before time, when you go outside the country, they could, people were buying cars and things, they could give it to them to test it, try it.
That's true.
And you know our people, they'll just put it in the container and land it here. Trust was broken since then. When you go outside the country again, nobody will give you a car to go and test and without tracking or something like that. You get my point. So businesses, and they can give you a container of goods without just trusting you and your character. You see, and that is what is happening in this country. We can't build on virtues anymore. Everything is money. So we don't look for character. And because of that, now you are married, the trust is broken.
It's broken.
A sense of security. Because having a child brought into a marriage is a whole lot to deal with for the man. If, in this case, the man is the one who has brought the child. Look, practically, there are a lot of things that are going to go on. Everything has changed in the marriage. Now, why? The person coming in, the woman who gave birth to the child, is a whole issue to deal with. The man's relationship with the person.
With the person,
And then the child's relationship with the person. And then you to your relationship, you that you are in the marriage, your relationship with the person, it threatens the security, the stability. So if the man is not a wise man to manage that mistake and then become like, you are finished. It's not an easy thing to deal with. For the child, he comes into the marriage, right now, emotionally, if they bring their child, I have to take care of that child. 3 months baby, or as you are saying, I have to take care of that child. I'm emotionally developing a certain bond with the child. The child gets to a certain age, they say, "No, mommy, oh, mommy, na, no." And that is like, okay, so this woman came to break the relationship between my father truly loved, a whole lot of complicated issues to deal with.
If you're not a strong woman, you wouldn't be able to.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
It affects the relation. Trust is a big issue. In fact, in the Garden of Eden, between us and God, broken trust is sin. Broken trust is sin. That's the seed of sin. Right. All the other things that come afterward are aftermath. When trust is broken, even between you and your children, nothing works again. Nothing. You will do your best and it looks like trash. So it's a very difficult situation to just go and sleep outside, and not just sleep outside, have a child with a person, and then you say, you're trapping me, was saying. You're trapping, was saying. Then you bring the child to the marriage. It's very complicated. Some men are not even wise, and then they begin to fight you, the woman, with the child. Me, my own children, don't do this. Because hey,
I don't know what I'm
saying. There's a whole lot of complications with it. The child grows up and he's like, I know practically, I've counseled a lot of women, and I know practically women that have trained some of these children. They become like doctors and things, and at the end of the day, the respect for that woman in the house was not there. Others too are very good. They respect and honor the woman who stood for them. But it is never easy. It is never easy. The marriage never becomes the same. But if you have wisdom, and then you acknowledge that this is a big mistake I have done. And for her, in this 2 years marriage, I don't know how she's going to make it. Ooh. Yes, I have to be real with her. It's going to be difficult already. She doesn't even have a child. Yes. So it's like, this is the firstborn. Yeah. And you know African culture, the firstborn issue. And also cry then they say, and here you are in the marriage. I'm telling you. So it's no joke. From the Bible, when we see these things also, it's right from the fall. After the fall, you see all these breakages and this childbearing, different. Before Genesis 3, nobody had issues like that. Everybody, until Satan came before, and there was a broken relationship between us and God. That was when Solomon could marry 1,000. So we can't use Solomon's example for God's exam. And these are real, unless you don't want to work it out. Unless you don't want to experience that redemptive, beautiful love and peace and joy. But if the mistake has happened, let's look at it from a very realistic point of view. For the woman, it is not easy. 2, the man has to play a very wise role. And for her, it's up to her to make a choice, whether to stay or to leave. To stay, then we can also advise her as to how to cope. Then if it's to leave, then we can also counsel them as to how to separate.
And that's the problem now, because she's in a state of a dilemma. She's confused. She doesn't know what to do. She says her husband did so well, hiding everything, the entire relationship and everything, up until the lady gave birth. You are now telling me. And he never gave signs. Usually, men easily give signs of cheating.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, he's a very smart guy. Maybe, I don't know where he learned his tactics from, but for the lady to have not noticed anything.
It's possible.
Anything for 2 years.
It's possible.
I find out, and he comes himself to let you
10
know.
years. He said,
10 years.
10 years before you should
But women have the ability to find out things. So that's why you must also play the test game. You have to test whether the person is really cheating or not.
And what's the test game?
I mean,
this one I allow. This one you brought up, test game.
Test game.
Are you serious?
So let me tell a story. A lady who was suspecting that her husband was cheating, she just arranged with her friend, to just try to make advance on a phone. She was on the phone to see the husband's response.
Reaction.
Yeah. But then, so the lady spoke to him. I've always been in love with you. I check you. I like your six-pack and your muscles. When you shape your beard, it's something.
Hey. Raps.
The man was the line. But the lady was also, the wife was also on the line. It was a conference call, but he didn't know. But to God be the glory. He said, Madam, is my wife not your friend? Why are you saying these things? I'm going to tell your friend. I'll tell your friend all that you have said to me. Then he dropped the line. You see, it's trust is not about what you do in the presence of your wife. There are people when their spouses are there,
they praise them and act all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. But then,
even when a pretty lady is passing, they will
they'll look elsewhere.
They will not look at
yes,
her, right?
yes,
Pretend.
They'll pretend. Yeah.
But it's what you do in the absence of your spouse that determine how trustworthy you can be.
Right.
And there's, as Mommy said, the situation that this young lady has found herself is very traumatic, very depressing, okay? Not just that, it also affects her self-esteem. Every woman, once your spouse cheats on you, you begin to think, am I not beautiful enough? Am I not giving him what he needs? Am I not satisfying him? Right. It becomes a mental torture. So it's a difficult situation to find yourself like that. Trust is described as a paper that has been crumbled. You can never get it straightened perfectly as it used.
Even if you try to iron, you will still see
the cracks. That is it. Yeah. But nonetheless, as Christians, forgiveness is also part of relationship. You can't build a relationship without being forgiving. But I'll come there. There are things, emotional reactions. She'll feel angry. She'll feel sad. She'll feel very sorrowful. All these emotions are accepted. They are accepted. The Bible didn't say don't be angry. The Bible said be angry, but sin not. So when the anger comes, there is something we call emotional intelligence, your ability to control your anger. Because if you want to function through the medium of anger, there is so much you can do. You can actually, there are people, they will poison you. Some will buy acid, throw acid on you. When you look very ugly.
Some grand
beer bottles,
and put it in their food.
In the food, So it kills you gradually.
It'll kill you gradually. People can do so many things. People can do so many things. Some will buy acid, pour it on you. If you look ugly, which woman would have interest in you again? So there are various ways people express their anger, but the wisest thing to do is to manage your emotions. When you are angry, the Bible says, do not let the sun set on your anger.
You know, Prof, before you continue, so I'm also seeing it as, it looks like the lady is very in love with the husband. And the husband is in the know that Mayor no or Domedo or Peme. Because when you think of the effrontery that he had to easily even relay that information of he having a child outside, he knows that there's a high possibility that regardless, my wife can take it. My wife can endure because she loves me.
That love should not be taken for granted. Look, right from two years of marriage, you go baby, no one start here taking love for granted. And unless you don't want a long, a peaceful marriage, a beautiful marriage. In this case, it has happened. Sopho is talking about forgiveness. It's a key. The woman can either forgive
and stay,
or
still forgive,
or forgive and
still
walk out.
Because of faithfulness, as for the Bible, it gives you that option.
Yes.
Or even in our culture, say bro, because your mental health is an issue before you start putting, what do you call it, putting yourself on the internet and start disturbing all of us. Because when it comes to relationship, it can devastate you. These are serious issues. Because once you get emotionally involved with people, please, let's honor and respect people's emotions. It's maturity, and it's Christian, and it's godly. So taking decisions, every decision that we take has its consequences. And some demons are big. It's spirit. Yes, this a situation like this also.
It's not everything that is spirit. I like that part. That's true.
I'm telling you, you see, God in His wisest, he's an epitome of wisdom. He has set emotion, certain things already, that when you make decisions and choices, there are consequences of it.
That's true.
And some is long suffering.
Yes.
Long suffering. So are you ready to go through that
long suffering?
And define it for yourself and make practical decisions based on the word of God and your peace of mind. And your peace of mind. When people know that you respect your peace of mind, they also respect themselves.
That's true.
But when they know that, oh, like you are saying, my wife can take this one, my husband can take this one. That is my dear, your mental health is also important to you and to God. That God's investment that He has done in you, your person was, I say, it supersedes marriage. Do you understand that? So every decision, even the marriage, is part of the purpose and the plan of God. So if He is going to affect me not to fulfill my destiny,
I will leave. I will leave. Prophet Moses.
But not just to leave.
No, I will forgive.
Leaving also doesn't mean you've closed a chapter. Because
so leaving in a proper way.
Yes.
So I should properly close the chapter.
Yes, you have to properly close the chapter.
Your families
get involved. Drinks have to be returned. You have to go through the legal process to make sure that...
And counseling.
When all this, you need to go through serious counseling. You know, sometimes people... in Bible school, we're taught that when the life is at stake and mental health is at stake, the best thing, let the person walk out.
Separation, or at least separation.
There are processes, depending on which jurisdictions. There are some places you need to give a grounds. What is the ground for the request for divorce?
Or the separation.
Or the separation. There are places where you don't need any grounds. I just want to move on. That one is also there. There are also places where they'll first not take the whole thing from divorce. They would first want us to separate. Think, reconsider. If you believe that that's what you want, then come back later. Let us know. So separation. Mommy, I don't know which one you
for me, I'm looking at her. I don't know what she can take. That's why this will narrow down to the personality.
That is it.
As you said, and how equipped the person is. If the person wants to stay, then he has to equip herself in how to manage all these conflicts. And with the husband as well, you know, playing a major role. I know a minister who had 2 kids, brought it into marriage, and then the wife took it all. They've built a beautiful family. The man is a very wise man, and things are peaceful. The others too, because a whole lot of complication.
Myself.
I see it with this Jay-Z generation. Baby mama is celebrated. People just go into people's marriages and give birth and come and cause confusion.
Okay. All right. So let me quickly read this message. Hi, Asiadua. I'm going through the same thing and I need help. I have 3 kids with him and his side chick child is older than my last born. Please, I need help. A lot is going on in my mind right now and I'm very sad. My dear, can we please do this next week, God willing? And then, we'll take this issue, elaborate on it, and then we'll do better with it. So thank you so much for joining us today on Prime On. Unfortunately, this is where we have to end. Time is fast spent. So, yes, viewers, have a lovely day. Enjoy yourself.